Most people don't give their morning routine a second thought. They wake up, shuffle to the bathroom, and launch into the same habits they've had for years. But if you're over 70 or love someone who is, this seemingly harmless routine could be hiding serious dangers. In fact, small morning missteps often go unnoticed for decades, only to show up later in life when the body is more vulnerable. One tiny oversight, repeated day after day, can lead to everything from chronic pain to a dangerous fall or even a heart scare. If that sounds alarming, stay with me because we're about to break down how you can avoid these problems altogether. We're going to explore several routine mistakes that older adults make the moment they open their eyes. Each section reveals a different trap along with the simple, life-changing steps you can take to avoid it. By the end of this video, you'll be armed with knowledge that could protect your body, sharpen your mind, and help you preserve your independence for years to come. You may be surprised by how easy it is to fix these mistakes once you know they exist, no matter your age. It's never too late to improve your mornings. The key is awareness. Once you recognize these pitfalls and learn how to adjust, you'll be giving yourself or your loved ones the gift of a safer, healthier start to the day. Ready to dive in? Let's begin. Think about the first few seconds of your day. When you open your eyes, do you immediately swing your legs over the bed and stand up in one swift motion? For years, that's exactly what most people do. It feels natural, but here's the problem. After a night of lying down, your blood tends to pool in the lower part of your body. This makes perfect sense when you're horizontal, but the moment you sit up too quickly, you risk a sudden drop in blood pressure, a condition known as orthostatic hypotension. Even in your youth, that abrupt change can lead to a passing sense of dizziness or mild nausea. But if you're older, it's far more serious. Your circulatory system doesn't adjust as quickly as it once did. That delay, often just a fraction of a second, can cause you to feel lightheaded, see spots, or even black out for a moment. Many older adults have had a frightening experience. They stand up, get dizzy, and suddenly lose their balance. Sometimes they catch themselves. Sometimes they don't. A single fall can trigger a domino effect of health challenges: fractured bones, hospital stays, and extended bed rest. It's a scenario that can rob a person of mobility, independence, and confidence. For older adults, fear of falling can become a constant companion. One mishap in the morning could mean months of rehabilitation or, in the worst cases, a permanent reduction in mobility. Fortunately, the fix is simple. Before you even consider standing, spend at least 30 seconds to a minute waking up your body. Start by wiggling your toes and fingers. This encourages blood flow without forcing a sudden posture change. Next, slowly roll onto your side and pause. Take a couple of deep breaths to let your circulation catch up. From there, gently push yourself to a seated position with your feet on the floor. If you feel stable, wait a few more moments. Move your ankles in slow circles and let your body get used to being upright. Then, and only then, stand up gradually with something sturdy within reach if you need support. It might sound like a lot of steps, but these extra seconds are crucial for anyone over 70, and they can benefit younger adults too. These micro changes give your heart, blood vessels, and muscles time to coordinate. If you want to help your parents or grandparents protect themselves, pass along this trick. Even for those who haven't had issues yet, this proactive measure can prevent future accidents. After all, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and it's amazing how much protection you can get from just a few measured breaths and movements before your feet even touch the floor. After the challenge of easing out of bed safely, there's another common mistake that catches many seniors off guard: skipping water in the morning. Picture this: you've spent 6, 7, maybe 8 hours asleep. During that time, your body's been hard at work repairing cells, regulating hormones, and performing all sorts of vital functions behind the scenes. You might not notice it, but you lose fluids through breathing, slight perspiration, and other normal processes. Even if you don't break a sweat, by the time you open your eyes, your blood is somewhat thicker, and your organs are operating with less fluid than they need. For older adults, this is no small matter. Dehydration at this stage can contribute to high blood pressure, headaches, sluggish digestion, and reduced mental clarity. This also puts extra strain on your heart, which has to work harder to pump thicker blood through your veins. You may have experienced it yourself, waking up with a dry mouth, feeling oddly fatigued, or noticing that your joints are stiff. Many people blame these sensations on aging, but it's often a simple case of the body needing immediate hydration. If your first drink of the day is coffee, you might be making it worse. Caffeine can act as a diuretic, nudging your body to release even more fluids. So the dryness you felt upon waking doesn't just stay, it can intensify. The good news is that you don't have to give up coffee entirely. Just be sure to have water first. A single glass of water right after you wake up can do wonders for your circulatory system and mental alertness. It's like jump-starting your internal engine. Think of your organs as a car sitting idle all night. They need fresh oil to run well. Water is that fresh oil for your body. If cold water first thing in the morning isn't appealing, try sipping warm water or adding a slice of lemon. Some seniors find a comforting routine in a mug of warm water before they tackle the day. Others place a water bottle on the nightstand to remind themselves to drink as soon as they get up. Even if you don't feel thirsty, especially if you don't feel thirsty, try to make this a daily habit. Thirst is often a delayed signal, particularly in older adults. By the time you notice thirst, you're already in a deeper state of dehydration. Don't let that happen. Start your day with hydration, and you'll be amazed at how much more energized and clear-headed you feel for the rest of the morning. Coffee is the cherished morning companion for countless people around the globe. There's something comforting about that first sip, the aroma filling the air. It's no wonder so many of us treat it like a morning essential. However, drinking coffee on an empty stomach can turn that pleasure into a hazard, especially after the age of 70. When you wake up, your cortisol levels are naturally at their highest point of the day. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone, and having some in the morning isn't bad. It helps you feel alert and ready to tackle the day. But if you immediately down a cup of coffee with nothing in your stomach, you can send that cortisol level skyrocketing. High cortisol over extended periods is linked to anxiety, weight gain, and even blood pressure problems. Your body is already in a mildly stressed state just from rising after hours of rest. Adding caffeine to the mix can amplify that stress more than you realize. There's also the issue of acidity. Coffee is naturally acidic, and when it meets an empty stomach, it can irritate the stomach lining. You might experience heartburn, acid reflux, or a nagging sensation that your digestive system is off balance. Some people ignore these cues, assuming it's just an inevitable sign of aging. But the truth is it might be the timing of your coffee that's causing discomfort, not age itself. Consider having at least a small snack before you take that first sip. A piece of toast, a handful of nuts, or even a half banana can help buffer the acidity and slow the rapid absorption of caffeine. Doing this can prevent jitteriness, sudden energy crashes, and that all too familiar sour feeling in your stomach. There's no need to swear off your beloved brew. Rather than giving up coffee, think of adjusting the order. Drink a bit of water, eat a light bite, and then enjoy your coffee. This tweak can not only protect your digestive system, but also smooth out the caffeine buzz so you stay energized without the crash. For those worried about losing that magical morning moment, rest assured, the coffee ritual can still be yours. It'll just be a gentler experience, one that's far kinder to your body. How often do you leap out of bed only to feel your back tighten, your knees protest, or your shoulders ache? Morning stiffness is common at any age, but it can become downright dangerous if you ignore it later in life. While you've been sleeping, your joints have been mostly inactive, circulation has slowed, and synovial fluid, the lubricant for your joints, might not be flowing at full capacity right away. When we're young, our bodies can bounce back quickly from that initial tightness. After 70, a quick bounce can be more like a jolt. One wrong step, a sudden twist, or a rapid bend can lead to strains, sprains, or even a dreaded fall. Mobility and independence are precious commodities as you age, and safeguarding them starts with small steps. Literally, before placing your feet on the floor, make it a habit to do a short bed stretch session. Start by slowly bending your knees up and down while lying on your back. Wiggle your toes. Rotate your ankles in circles. Extend your arms overhead and take a deep breath. These movements rev up your circulation and wake up sleepy muscles. Once you're sitting up, roll your shoulders a few times, gently stretch your neck, and give your body a moment to calibrate to being upright. This routine doesn't need to be long. Just a minute or two can make a big difference. The key is consistency. Day after day, you'll notice that your joints feel looser, your steps are more stable, and you're less prone to those random aches that can plague the first half of your morning. And if you're living with chronic conditions like arthritis, gentle stretching can significantly reduce pain and improve your range of motion. You might be tempted to skip these steps, thinking you can shake off stiffness just by pushing through it. But that's exactly how many accidents happen. A moment of stubbornness leads to an unsteady step or a misjudged movement. And suddenly you're looking at weeks or months of recovery. It's far safer and smarter to warm up each day. You'll thank yourself when you walk across the kitchen without grimacing or manage to reach a high cabinet without straining your shoulder. Remember, slow and steady isn't just a saying. In the morning, it can be a literal lifesaver. Have you ever felt an energy crash just an hour or two after you wake up? Do you find yourself grazing on whatever's handy, like a sugary pastry or leftover treat, thinking it'll tide you over until lunch? This habit may seem minor, but skipping a proper breakfast or opting for something with too much sugar can sabotage your health, especially for seniors. When you haven't eaten all night, your blood sugar is naturally low. If the first thing you feed your body is a sugary muffin or a slice of white bread with jam, you'll experience a rapid spike in glucose followed by a sudden drop. That roller coaster can leave you feeling shaky, dizzy, or more fatigued than when you rolled out of bed. For older adults who may already struggle with blood sugar regulation or who are managing diabetes, this can become a dangerous daily cycle. Breakfast doesn't have to be fancy or complicated. It's about balance. Consider including a source of protein like eggs, Greek yogurt, peanut butter, or cottage cheese, a bit of healthy fat, avocado or nuts, and some complex carbohydrates, oatmeal, whole grain toast, or a small portion of fruit. This combination supports stable energy levels and helps prevent that mid-morning energy slump. It also provides essential nutrients that keep your muscles, heart, and brain functioning at their best. What if you're not hungry in the morning? Some people genuinely wake up without an appetite. In that case, try a lighter option, maybe a small smoothie with fruit and a spoonful of nut butter. Or you can have a half portion of oatmeal with berries. The goal is to give your body the fuel it needs without overwhelming yourself. Even a light, balanced meal can make a world of difference compared to an empty stomach or a sugar-laden snack. Skipping breakfast entirely or eating the wrong foods can lead to more than just a passing slump. Chronic underfueling in the morning can weaken your immune system, hinder focus, and set the stage for poor eating habits throughout the rest of the day. Think of breakfast as laying the foundation for the next 24 hours. A weak foundation eventually leads to cracks. And in terms of your health, those cracks can show up as fatigue, vulnerability to illness, and a worsening of chronic conditions. When you prioritize the right breakfast, you're investing in your overall well-being. Think of it as a daily vote for a stronger heart, sharper mind, and steadier body. There's a silent, modern-day culprit that can damage your mornings without you even realizing it. Immediately diving into technology. It might be tempting to check the news, scroll through social media, or read your emails the moment you switch off your alarm. But that rush of digital information can elevate stress hormones and anxiety, especially if the content is negative or overwhelming. For seniors who remember a time before smartphones and tablets, this habit can feel oddly addictive yet draining. You wake up, reach for your device, and within seconds, your brain is bombarded by world crises, political rants, or urgent messages. Your cortisol spikes, and you haven't even stepped out of bed. Not only can this raise blood pressure, but it also sets a frantic tone for the day. Mental stress is as real as any physical stress. When your mind is under siege from the moment you wake up, it can impact your mood, your outlook, and even your motivation to take care of your physical health. It's harder to prioritize a gentle morning stretch or a balanced breakfast if your head is already spinning from a barrage of news. Consider giving yourself a technology buffer. That means waiting at least 15 to 30 minutes before checking your phone, turning on the TV, or logging into a computer. Use that time to ease into the day. Do your stretches, drink water, eat a small bite, or simply enjoy the quiet. If you crave mental stimulation, try light reading like a few pages of a book or listening to soft music. Think of it as priming your mind for the day ahead rather than overwhelming it. Some people find it helpful to keep their phone across the room or in another area of the house so it's not within arm's reach. Others set their notifications to do not disturb mode until a certain time of day. If you're worried about emergencies, you can customize settings to allow calls from close family members while still silencing general alerts. The point isn't to swear off technology altogether. Modern devices can be a great way to stay connected and engage the mind. The goal is to manage how and when you expose yourself to digital stressors. Starting the day with a calmer mind can translate into a calmer body, which ultimately protects your overall health. It's easy to overlook the power of small routines, especially first thing in the morning. Yet the choices you make in those initial minutes often set the tone for your entire day, and by extension, the rest of your life. If you're over 70, you don't have a huge margin for error anymore. A sudden fall, an ignored ache, or chronic dehydration can escalate quickly into a major health issue. But here's the uplifting truth. These dangers are avoidable, and the fixes are surprisingly simple. Don't rush out of bed. Give your body time to adjust. Keep a glass of water nearby, and drink it before you do anything else. When you reach for coffee, make sure your stomach isn't empty. A light snack can buffer the acidity and stabilize your energy. Respect morning stiffness by gently waking up your joints with a brief stretch routine. Choose a balanced breakfast to avoid wild swings in blood sugar, and consider giving yourself a digital cool-down period so your mind can wake up peacefully. These changes aren't complicated or expensive, but they can be game changers for seniors. They can reduce the risk of falls, balance your blood pressure, improve digestion, and help you maintain a clear head. Over time, the impact can be profound. Less reliance on medication, fewer doctor visits, and more time spent enjoying life instead of coping with preventable health concerns. Now, think about which of these morning mistakes might be part of your routine. Did you recognize yourself in any of these scenarios? If so, which one do you want to tackle first? Maybe you'll start with something simple, like sipping water before you stand up. Or maybe you'll set a new breakfast routine that combines protein, healthy fats, and whole grains. You could even commit to a technology-free first 20 minutes of the day. Share your thoughts below. Have you ever experienced dizziness from getting up too fast? Have you noticed an energy slump after a sugary breakfast? We'd love to hear your story. And remember, your experience might help someone else avoid a serious pitfall. By talking about these issues, we can build a supportive community where everyone learns and thrives. If you found this video insightful, please consider subscribing and commenting. Your engagement encourages us to keep creating content that helps seniors and their families lead healthier, more independent lives. And if you know someone over 70 who could benefit from this information, share it with them. It might just prevent an accident or spark a life-changing new habit. Thanks for joining me today. The morning is a delicate yet powerful part of your routine. Treat it with the care and attention it deserves, and you'll be amazed at the difference it makes, not only in how you feel each day, but in the long, vibrant years ahead.